Today I'm following Beatty Wash towards Camp Transvaal, which was one of the shortest lived mining towns or camps in the state of Nevada. This is the original route to come in from Beatty to this location. There is an easier route along the back way, but I decided to do this because it is the original Wagon Road stage route that they had. And when they were even talking about building a railroad to this region because of what the ore was assaying at, this was the location where they were going to put the railroad. There's a lot of little rock shelters like this that have back windows. Our version of arches. This one was never habited. It might have been done by a small like little hunting party or nothing, but it was never any substantial because there's no blackening of the top. Now, for some of you, you're probably wondering about petroglyphs. Now, we do have kind of like a graffiti rock out here. There are petroglyphs here. I'm not going to show you where all the panels are. This one right here, it's kind of funny. I mean, I don't know when this was actually carved. It had been a long time ago because it's been here since I started coming in this wash back in 1997. It just looks like everybody comes here. Some of them are like here, lightly faded. And there are some petroglyphs right here. And these are real glyphs here. Little humanoid figures, and then somebody scratched on top of it, being an idiot. There you go. So you do have some glyphs in this region. What it looks like they're building a water retention. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the camera. Not the chucker. They're on the other side of that ridge, and they're clearing out a huge area. They're getting ready to do some work. So this entire mountain right now is claimed. There's a newer claim, no trespassing up there, and they have some monitoring equipment up there. The main reason I came here, and so this was all part of the same mine complex. And you can see the tramway that goes all the way up to that working way up there. And it's sad, it's a pretty neat little explorer, but not when it's active mining. So when we had some heavy rains out here, that's what destroyed this. It wasn't a house or anything, it was just a storage, but it's sad that it was destroyed. Tram mine was not part of the 1906 Transvaal gold rush. Now, the production records that I was able to find placed the mine activity between 1919 and 1929, and it's obvious with new activity and new interest in this area that there's still a lot more left. The material that they mined here was actually ceramic grade silica. I always have that wrong. Is it silica or silicate? Who knows? Welcome to Camp Transvaal. I know it doesn't look like much, and it's hard to believe that 700 to 800 people lived here at one time. So this expanse, all this flat area, this wash up here, to partially up the side of the hill, was Camp Transvaal. Camp Transvaal was originally known as Nyopolis. The Transvaal mine was discovered in February 1906 by George Probasco and E.S. Chafey. By early April 1906, this valley had a small tent camp, and they named it Transvaal. And then the route that we just drove in, stage service started following that route in April of 1906 with 2 daily stages between Beatty and Transvaal at $5 a person. Then Borak Smith, who everybody knows from Death Valley, he started an auto stage, and there was even talk about a Tonopah and Tidewater Railroad spur to the camp. I am assuming where this is located, that might have been the area where the saloons and the boarding house and the little restaurant was located. Then by the 3rd week of April, this desolate area had 700 to 800 people. Out of everything here, this area has the most canned debris. Hot. So all this excitement in April 1906. But the problem again was the ore. And they kept sinking and sinking and sinking, but they were unable to find a pay chute to justify working the mines anymore. But by May, all the reports at the newspaper started to change. And they still showed a lot of hope, optimism about the site. Here's a crucible. They use this to assay the ore. By the 3rd week of May, Transvaal was reported as being abandoned. Darn it. So this is the mine that started all. This is Transvaal. Now there's other mines on record. So you got the Eastern Contact, which is located on the other side of that hill. Other claim names, which go in this direction here, heading towards the north, was the Congo, the Remittance, the Regal, Royal, North Star, and several extension claims that are associated with them. Mainly it's because the ore body was projected to be going north-south, so most of the people figured that this was the most southern part. The Eastern Contact, which is over in that direction. So they figured they'd go ahead and drop their shafts in the to the north of this location. There's several other little prospects all over the place. The last time I was down in this shaft was back in 1997, and it wasn't safe then, and definitely does not look safe now. You got a lot of loose material until you get down to about the 50-foot level before it starts hardening up. You can just see the timbers are just rotting away. Now this little Adit here connects to the shaft a little bit further down. I tried to get into it a few years ago, and it was collapsing. I'm just going to avoid this as much as possible. This is the main working area. Just like the town site, there's not much left. It's sad. Especially a place that has so much history. I'm walking around the mountain. The mine's over that direction. Check that out. That's cool. The way it's all weathered out. And then you can see the lava flow. Oh, the basalt. Ah, there's a shaft. This right here is the Diamond Queen. Oh, I got a little Adit. Hopefully, I've tightened up my camera light. Now, when I was at the Transvaal mine, I was talking about how nasty the shaft is. This is the material that's at the shaft. See, and it's like that for 75 feet. And it's so easy. Just one little wrong kick with your foot. So, I've been down it one time and I'm not going to do it again. Okay. Let's see, somebody came through and did samples. Did a lot, actually. Now this stuff, oh, little nest. This stuff, when it gets wet, is clay. Really nasty. But see how nasty this wall is? It takes a long time before you get into solid rock. So this is just little winds. You can see they backfilled back there. But check out that little coffee pot. Isn't that cool? I love that. Good old wooden pail. Oh, check that out. That's all guano. Oh, it's getting humid. Okay, there's the face. Oh, wow, it keeps going. That's all back guano. So they must come deeper in the winter time. Oh, dang cave crickets keep jumping on my ear. And that's it. don't understand how guano miners back in the early 1900s and late 1800s can stand this stuff. Oh, it stinks. You see the crickets up there? So as you know, that ends just a few feet up there. And there it is. So, excuse me. So that's the Adit. Not much. So I'm gonna go ahead and climb out and get you guys outside. Back at the truck. I hope you enjoyed the little look at the Camp Transvaal. I know there isn't much at the Townsite and the mines don't have much left over. It was just interesting. And so you got the camp that was just right down in there. And even some people thought this location was one of the multitude of mining scams that was taking place around the Bullfrog, Rhyolite, Beatty era. That was when people were looking for the Brayfogle. It's just swarming all throughout these hills. Well, I'll catch you guys on the next one.